Hey, it's Wednesday. Time for their Action Figure Adventures video here on SEO Toy Review. Today, Baby Skeletor and I are taking a look at Rock and Roll. Rock and Roll is the final membership exclusive figure from the G.I. Joe Collectors Club. He's based on the second version of Rock and Roll from the Real American Hero line. Rock and Roll came with a file card. Pause it here to read his bio. A modern release of Rock and Roll version 2 was shown off in a concept case at JoeCon years ago, made by Hasbro. This figure is inspired by that, but is not identical to it. This figure is cool, but it's missing some of the charm of the original figure. The very first Rock and Roll figure was a pretty standard figure from the original year of G.I. Joe. His one unique feature was he had bandoliers going across his chest, crisscrossed bullets, and that was kind of cool. He came with a really big gun. He was not reissued. There was no second version of Rock and Roll for a very long time. And when they finally did reissue him, he drastically looked different. He suddenly had a lot more tan. He was wearing a hat instead of a helmet, and he came with 2 Gatling guns that were amazing. And he also had a shotgun, just in case. This version comes with this really bizarre gun that's not really a shotgun. And he comes with 1 Gatling gun. The vintage figure had the shotgun that actually could peg onto his leg, which was just a really fun feature. He could house it here so he could carry it while he was shooting both of his Gatling guns, which was just the extreme level of amazing 90s, over-the-top, big guns and pouches, awesomeness. This figure is lacking some of that. The character just seems very off balance, only having 1 machine gun. I mean, these machine guns are ridiculous anyway. But having 1 Gatling gun on this side going and not having one on the other side to balance it out just seems kind of crazy. He does come with this giant backpack that has an ammo belt to it. This part, again, not the actual vintage backpack or the vintage ammo belt, but works great for recreating that using some of the modern parts. He's got a nice camo pattern on his pants. He's got big knee pads. He's got some brown boots. Like all the club figures, he comes with a base with his name on it. His chest is pretty plain. There is some sculpted detail in here, and he has a few light green adornments up here, and then he's got a little strap harness here to make it look like his backpack's actually on. I think his head turned out pretty good. Although he does kind of look like he's staring you down a little bit. His pupils are at the very top of his eyelid there. Not my favorite subscription exclusive figure, but he's not terrible. I'm glad we got him. I've been very excited how the club has been slowly chipping away at the number of vintage figures we've never gotten re-released in a modern sculpt. So I'm glad they did him. I really wish he had the double chain-fed Gatling guns, and everyone I've mentioned it to is like, oh, you can just get them. You know, they make you can find, you know, the vintage Gatling guns and stuff. But I want 2 that match, and I want ammo belts for them. So I need this style ammo belt, which I don't know if I can get another one of these necessarily. I'm sure there's one with another figure somewhere, but I would have to get rid of this gun to give him 2 of the white ones. So I just think the club cheaped out just a little bit, not giving him 2 guns, 2 of the Gatling guns. But, I don't know, he's the membership figure. We've had some amazing membership figures, though. The Frostbite figure was incredible. The Footloose figure was incredible. So I think they could have put just a little bit more effort into this guy with the accessories there. If you're a really big rock and roll fan, I suggest you track this guy down. If you're a huge fan of the 90s, again, I recommend you track this guy down. But if you just collect really cool G.I. Joes, this guy's a little bit lower tier in my eyes. If you really like this version of Rock and Roll, let me know down in the comments below. Do Baby Skeletor a favor, hit that like and subscribe button.